So I'm scrolling Instagram Reels yesterday, as one does, and I had a moment of self-awareness. I was scrolling through the Reels, and every single Reel I looked at was trying to teach me how to make a viral Instagram Reel. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, this is just pissing me off. Like, I want to watch something else. I want to watch something that's just fun. So I was like, okay, let me just spam through these Reels. Like, let me get to something. And I'm scrolling, I'm swiping over and over, like for like at least a good 15, 20 seconds. And every single video is pushing the exact same propaganda. And it just made me take like a moment of reflection to be like, yo, what is going on right now? I think the new method that has begun to propagate on social media platforms, it's been bubbling for a while, but it's really like blown over the edge now, is the content creation grift. The idea that there is like a unique method that you can incorporate into your own videos that's going to make them go viral. And as someone who's been making YouTube videos for coming on 5 years now, seeing these videos is really funny to me because the things they talk about in that video are not things that I have ever done or will ever do in order to make my videos go viral. I know quite a few content creators in this space, especially in the study space. I probably am familiar with or have networked with at some point or another, almost all of them, because it's not a very big space. And in that process, I don't know anyone who needs to incorporate these strategies. Now, the immediate counter argument that I see to the idea of like, hey, there are people online giving advice on how to create better videos is that, Pratik, as a creator, when you are creating your own videos, don't you think about the title that you create, the thumbnails that you make, or if you're making short form content, right? Like TikToks or Instagram Reels, don't you want the first 3 seconds to be engaging? Yes, of course, 100%. But the issue that you run into is the way that these people advertise to you how to do it and why you're doing it. When you create content on the internet, right? If you actually want to go into content creation, the idea here is that you are making videos on things that you are passionate about, things that you're interested in. The beating heart of wanting to create content online is that you are making videos that you yourself would watch. That is what gives them their originality. Your goal here is not to simply recreate, for example, I'm in the study space, right? I make content in like the college admission sphere. There's a lot of people who make like day in the lifestyle content, right? It's something that's universal, regardless of whether you're a Harvard student making a day in the life at Harvard versus a medical school student versus a doctor versus a regular worker who works at Taco Bell. I'm sure there's a day in the life as a Taco Bell employee that's gone viral somewhere, right? The idea here is that when you make this piece of content, in order for it to gain traction anywhere online, there needs to be some level of originality to it. If it was a very plain and simple, here's my day in the life as a high school student. You wake up, normal time. You eat breakfast, you go to school, you come back, you play Fortnite for half an hour and you go to bed, right? There's only so much appeal in that, right? Either there's a humorous element or like it's so boring that it's interesting. There's some reason that the video goes viral. But if you do nothing original in it and you are not inspired by it and you are simply making the video out of going through the motions of just posting a video online, it's highly unlikely that video is going to get a lot of traction. The content creation sphere is all about balancing what it is that you're interested in with having some kind of an original angle or twist, and the algorithm rewards you for that. When people make videos online talking about if you want your video to go viral, you need to open up the Instagram camera app, take 3 photos, restart the app, turn your phone into black and white scale, and then take your video, turn it down to 360p, and A/B test it as a trial reel. And then you'll finally go viral. Was that really the method? Did you as a consumer think that it was that simple? Or that if you just take a step back and you think about it through the way that I'm explaining it, all of a sudden it sounds like as kind of stupid as it is, right? Because it is a grift at the end of the day. It's so funny that like there's a certain irony in someone who is making a video talking to you about how your videos can go viral if you do these things. And you look at the video and it has like 400 likes. Like bro, what are we doing here? Like if it worked, you would have more views than Mr. Beast, right? It's a little bit more nuanced than that. And so I've been seeing creators like like actual content creators, right? People who make videos on a range of topics, or they make skits, or they make entertaining content. And then they make some content on the side that is like, hey, here's what it looks like behind the scenes when I make my content. This is what I do to stand out. When those creators talk about their journey and their experience, you can always see the nuance in their opinion. Right? They talk a lot more about the creative process, how they come up with the ideas, how they get inspired, how they work through the mental blocks of being a creator. I think that is so much more legitimate as advice for someone who wants to get into this space. My biggest issue with people who make this kind of content is not the actual fact that they're making content on how to do well on social media. It's the fact that the content feels like it's eating itself when that is the only thing you create. If the only piece of content that's coming out online, that you make Instagram Reels that are dedicated to how to make viral Instagram Reels, there's no actual substance there. And the advice just tends to falter because in real life, that is not the way that you design your content creation, right? I've already talked about how you go about your inspiration process in this video, but I want to drill down on the fact that these videos that are being made are intended for an audience that's not necessarily creators. If a video shows up on my For You page on how do you make a video go viral, or like, here are 3 opening hooks for a TikTok that are gonna make your next video go viral, you'll see that 10, 20,000 people saved that video. How many of those 20,000 people who saved that video actually do you think went back to that video, took inspiration from it, and then created their own piece of content that used that hook and then worked and got views? I would estimate that at every stage of the process, there was like a drop-off percentage. 1 million people viewed the video. Out of that, 1% of them saved the video. Out of that, the 1% who saved it, 10% maybe even remember that the video existed, and 1% of them went back and used it, and then another, maybe half of those actually went on to have a successful video. Just to further reiterate on this point, can you name one TikTok video that you watched yesterday? How about one video that you watched last week? Just one, right? When you look at like 100 videos a day, the number that actually sticks in your head is so much less than you think. The number of saved videos that just pile up in the dumpster of saved collection on Instagram Reels or on TikTok that you just never end up going back to is just massive. The videos themselves that are being made are targeting an audience who is not necessarily creators, right? I imagine that there are 2 types of people who generally consume videos on, that fall under this content creation grift, okay? You either have person 1 who has never made a video before, or you have person 2 who has made anywhere 10, 20, 50, 100 videos, and they're all getting like 50 views, right? They're in like, their account in their eyes might look like it's blacklisted, okay? The algorithm is very good at figuring out what you watch. It's why you get fed these videos. It's not good at figuring out what you actually need to hear. The person who has never made a video before and is watching videos on content creation doesn't need to know the top 3 hooks that are going to make them go viral. They just need someone in their life to tell them to start, to make their first video and see what happens. Going through that motion will at least tell them whether they like the creation process or they just rather, study for school. The second group of people who's just pumping out content, but they're getting no views, they don't need someone telling them, you need to be more consistent, you need to optimize this hook. They need a moment of self-reflection. If you have 100 videos and not a single one of those videos has gained any traction, the algorithm is, generally speaking, pretty good at figuring out what people watch. So if you have a body of work already made and know those videos are gaining traction, you need to take a moment to look back on those videos and see, hey, out of all my content, are there certain things that people actually like? Are there certain things that people are engaging with? Were there trends that I got involved in that got more views than others? What can I learn from this data? You're looking at your videos that you've produced in the past like a scientist, right? Each idea is like another test that you've put out into the world to see whether or not people are receptive to it, and you can continue to reiterate over time. When I first started making YouTube videos, I would make videos on anything I wanted to talk about. I would talk about gym stuff. I talk about things that were going on in my life, from college stuff to even just, conversations I had with my friends. Really, like, anything I wanted to, I would just post online. After having made 20, 25 videos, the college admissions videos tended to start getting a little bit more traction. So it was like, okay, like people are interested in this. I'm pretty knowledgeable on it. I enjoy making these videos. Why don't I try making a couple more? And the rest is history. That's literally all it took. If you go to like my YouTube channel, I'm not making this up. My email that like you can reach me for like my business email is pratik.self.improvement. It's pratikselfimprovement@gmail.com, because that was the original name of my YouTube channel. It was called Pratik Self Improvement because at the time those were the kinds of videos that I was making. I didn't even know what I wanted to talk about, so I just made like a blanket YouTube channel to just give my opinion on things. And at the time, no one was watching those videos. Like the actual self-improvement videos had like 10 views, 5 views. It would just be my homies. All my homies from school who like enjoyed talking to me about this stuff in real life, they would support my videos, but like no one online. And then fast forward 5 years later, you know, a lot more people are following along. They enjoy the philosophy. And now you have a lot of my core audience who enjoys these kind of raw and unfiltered talks. They enjoy the more philosophy, self-improvement content. And so it's almost like full circle now, right? We talk about the college admission stuff. We talk about the study stuff. But at the same time, we also take a step back and understand, like, why is it that we're doing this, right? The goal with all of this whole journey, like, it's to be happy, right? To get what you want out of life, to find alignment and fulfillment. So, like, you know, do the best you can, right? Get the best resources you can get access to. Try your hardest, but, you know, have fun with the process as well. That's the way that I view the study stuff. That's the way I view college admissions. It's the way I view content creation as well. I guess, like, if I were to kind of tie this video all together here now, I had an ending point. Sorry, I don't want to mess this up. There was like one thing I really want to talk about in the end, right? Oh my God, I have to talk about this, and then we'll close out. I mentioned a little bit earlier that, like, you know, a good counter argument to this video is like, don't you spend time like making thumbnails and optimizing? Yeah, you do. But the most important thing in the content creation process is your taste. It's your taste. It's finding that little twist or gem that differentiates your content from the other things that are out there. And once you have the core concept in place, that's when you can go back and start to incorporate the other things that optimize your content. I would never recommend that people go and make YouTube videos, like make 100 videos, without thinking at all about what the title of the video is going to be and what the thumbnail is going to be. Because even if the video is fantastic, if the marketing of the video is off, then it's going to get difficult to find traction in the algorithm. It's just less likely. It's not impossible, it's just less likely. When you're on TikTok, you could make an excellent video, but if your first 5 seconds is genuinely garbage, like it is like it's like, let's just say it was nothing. Like you literally, you just had 5 seconds of blank. It's very unlikely that first 5 seconds of the video just being black leading into something else more is going to, you know, capture an audience, right? So once you have, you know, a nice, interesting, unique concept in place, and you can at least practice the motions of making a good quality video, then you can 1% at a time improve your overall content. Try to have a slightly more engaging hook, try to use a better title, try to use, you know, better hashtags or better editing style or whatever it is. That's actually like the Mr. Beast method that so many creators use nowadays to grow, right? You can look up online like Mr. Beast YouTube playbook. It's a really engaging, quick read. It's like a 30-page Google document or whatever, but like it's written way faster. You know, you could probably read it in like an hour or two. That is such good perspective into how to actually grow a YouTube channel, how to actually grow a social media channel. Your goal is to start with the core and then try to improve 1% over time. That's the way that you approach this and how you balance these other videos. There are tons of creators who give you really good inspiration for how to edit, your format, good hooks. Utilize those to the fullest, and then, you know, allow your videos to evolve over time. I don't think this needs to be any longer than this. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't fall for the content creation grift. I think it's getting OD, right? You're meant to have fun with the content. That's the point here. Have fun with it. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been your Pratik. Peace.